I highly recommend that you use an old fretboard to practice. If not, just get one of these. Just get a brand new one. Alright, this is a brand new one from StewMac. They're not very expensive, so having one to practice on is a great idea. It's very helpful. But turns out I didn't need this one for practice. And so I'm going to save it for another build because it's a rather nice looking fretboard. Alright, this is the hard part. To me, gluing is difficult. Alright, there's a lot of ways to mess it up. You don't want to get too much glue on it or you won't get it off with the acetone. So what I do, oh, I forgot, you need a file. And I'll show you how to use that later. You want a glue, you want a rag, and you want it pre-moistened with acetone. Alright, we're going to pre-moisten this with acetone. I'm liberal with it. I let it pretty much soak that thing pretty good. And then I put it where I can get to it. Alright, I may need to add a little acetone to it later depending on how quickly I do this. Alright, then I want to trim my fret to the proper size. I'm going to start on this end of the fretboard. Hopefully you can see. Maybe I'll try to angle the camera a little bit. No, that's not going to work. I'll back things off just a tad so that you can see what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna set the fret just right in there. I'm going to leave a little bit on the edge, on either edge. I'm going to pull out my nippers. Alright, once I've got it measured, I'm just going to nip it. Alright, now a lot of guys will just go through and nip the entire fretboard. I'm not going to do that. Alright, as you can see, that fret is over radius slightly. It's just slightly over radiused, and that's so that the fret ends will stay in. Now my next step, to me, is the trickiest. I need to get my rag ready again. I don't want to be without my rag. So I'm going to moisten this thing again. Get a little acetone on there so I'm ready to go. Okay, and that's getting the glue in the slot. Now you want to get enough in there it spreads all the way across, and maybe you'll even have a little bit of seepage out the end. That's okay, or out the end. That's okay if you have that because you're going to be filing the fret down anyway, and that'll be take care of. What I like to do, this is my method, I like to tip the fretboard a little bit so this stuff isn't globbing, and then just slowly work my way up so that stuff's getting into. Hopefully it's going to get into there. I might have let a little bit of glue build up on the edge of this thing. I'm going to clean that up quick. Alright, now we're ready to go. Hopefully we're ready to go. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to find a piece of paper, just anything I can use, some old mail, just to make sure I've got the glue flowing. Right now, there we go. Okay, I've got the glue flowing. Now if you can, do what I didn't do. Puncture this thing with a really thin needle. And maybe you can be precise about how you get into that slot. But I had to do it like this. And I just start working my way down it and across. I get just enough in there. Starts to flow into the slot. I'm satisfied there's plenty of glue in the slot. Then I clean it up. I get this stuff and I just go over the top so that it's clean. Alright? And by looking in there, I'm not sure I got enough in, so I'm going to do it again. I want to make sure that slot has plenty of glue, not lacking for anything. I've got the top clean, there's plenty of glue in the slot, and now I got to hurry. Now I've got to hustle because I got to get this fret in there before the glue dries. So what I do is I preseat the fret like this. Hopefully you can see. I preseat the edges into the slot, pull out my fret hammer, and I start on one side, pound it in, and I get the other side pounded in, then immediately goes into the fret press. Alright? Very important to do this pretty quick. Okay, I get the caul aligned. Make sure nothing's going to tip, and then hopefully you can see I just press it, and you can feel the fret seat. I press it in there, the fret seats, I hold it for just a second, and then what I want to do, you can see it's in there, I want to pull it out, I want to make sure I got it all the way in, which I did. I just want to take my rag and wipe the edges quick because there's a little bit of residue of that glue. I don't want that on my fretboard personally. I'm going to get a little bit more of this. I'm going to get that glue residue out. Then, once I've got that, I'm going to stick this back in there, line it up. You don't have to be too anal about it, and just hold it in. I'm going to let that thing seat. Just going to hold it for another 20 or 30 seconds. Just make sure it's good and tight.